Is it actually possible for you to stop working in exactly 10 years without starting out as a millionaire? For decades, we've been handed a standardized script. You trade 40 years of your life to an employer, saving a tiny fraction of your paycheck, and hope there's enough left over to finally enjoy yourself once you reach old age. The financial industry backs this up with neat, optimistic charts. They plug an 8% annual return into a compound interest calculator and show you a smooth, uninterrupted line toward eventual wealth. But those calculators ignore how money actually behaves in the real world. They present a flawless mathematical model that ultimately keeps you tied to a desk for decades longer than necessary. To understand why, we have to look past that top-line number and identify what is actually left in your pocket. Watch what happens to that theoretical 8% return when we factor in reality. Right away, 3% average annual inflation erodes your purchasing power. Then, a 1% tax hit subtracts even more. Finally, platform fees quietly remove another 0.5%. Suddenly, that advertised gain settles at a real return of just 3.5%. Over a 10-year window, that small percentage gap translates to tens of thousands of dollars lost. Ignoring these specific subtractions is the exact reason standard retirement plans often fall short on an accelerated timeline. Let's define what it actually costs to stop working. If you calculate your monthly expenses, rent, food, healthcare, and they equal $3,000 a month, you need a system that generates $36,000 a year in passive cash flow. To figure out how large your portfolio needs to be to produce that income, we use the safe withdrawal rate. This equation shows that if you withdraw 4% of your portfolio every year, you divide your $36,000 target by 0.04. That gives you a target portfolio of $900,000. Building a $900,000 portfolio in 10 years requires highly aggressive capital allocation. Even if you achieve a strong 7% return after inflation and fees, the math is unforgiving. As this timeline graph shows the required inputs, you can see the reality of that target. To hit $900,000 in 10 years, you have to invest exactly $5,500 every single month. For most people, finding $5,500 of disposable income every month seems completely out of reach. They see that number and give up. But that figure is simply a baseline waiting for you to optimize the variables. You have direct control over the numbers in that equation. The single most powerful tool you have is the lifestyle lever. Watch what happens when you adjust your required living expenses. If you pull your monthly expenses down from $3,000 to $2,000, the total portfolio required to sustain you shrinks to $600,000. As we adjust the second slider for the required monthly investment, you can see the immediate effect. Dropping your expenses reduces your necessary monthly contribution from $5,500 down to roughly $3,700. $3,700 is still a heavy lift if you rely entirely on a fixed salary, but your income is also a variable. Building new skills or launching a side hustle can bridge the gap between your current paycheck and that investment target. The final math shows that early retirement requires you to consistently generate and invest $3,000 to $4,000 a month, while strictly avoiding lifestyle creep. Maintaining a $3,700 monthly investment for an entire decade is a behavioral challenge as much as it is a mathematical one. Over 10 years, life will get in the way. Markets will crash, unexpected temptations will arise, and distractions will try to derail your consistency. Relying on daily willpower to overcome those obstacles often leads to failure. The necessary failsafe is strict automation. You have to route your income directly into your investment accounts the moment it arrives, before you ever see it in your checking account. Automation executes without hesitation. It removes human emotion and fear from a process that relies on rigid, unbroken consistency. Even with perfect automation, the first half of this journey is a slog. For the first 7 years, your portfolio balance is small, and you are doing almost all the heavy lifting through your manual contributions. But if we track this on a graph, you can see a distinct shift around year 7. The flat line of your monthly contributions is finally crossed by the steepening curve of your portfolio's passive income. The compounding begins to do the work for you. By year 10, the visual completely changes. The passive income line breaks upward and outpaces your manual labor. The portfolio is now generating significant income entirely independent of your time. Whether this process takes exactly 10 years or stretches to 15, the underlying math remains the same. The variables are mapped and the requirements are clear. The only remaining question is whether you choose to start the first month of the process today.